And that's why we're all here, because we want to talk to you about this monster. It's not just a podcast, it's an intervention.
Oh, shit.
I can't remember about what, but
there's plenty of things you could pick.
Damneders has the rest of the notes, so take it away.
Where have I left them? I would just think that you need to just stop being so tall. It's not good for anyone.
Yeah, it's like freakishly tall.
Like we've seen you looking for limb lengthening surgery to make it even taller, and it's just.
Yeah, it's like 8 feet is good enough for anyone. Everyone already thinks it's weird.
I just feel like if I can hit the 9, I'll be fine. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah. It's never gonna be enough. It's never.
How do you mean 9 feet tall and getting in an airplane seat?
Being
6 feet and getting an airplane seat is pretty rough.
If the philosopher Epicurus would have known you, he would have said that there would never be enough power, money, or fame, but also never enough heights for a person.
Yeah, that sounds like something a short person would say.
Stupid ancient Greek philosophers.
What a dick.
When did
I
they
bet he
know?
was short.
So there's the, welcome everybody. This is Old Grumblers episode 8, 9.
More than we thought they were gonna be.
True.
Yes.
9. I was right the second time. I wasn't far off.
So 7 more than we thought they were gonna be.
Yeah, we got those two one day after the other, and then been dragging a feet since then. So today, the Shadows of Change. Well, not today, obviously, days ago, because we're never on top of things. But the Shadows of Change update has come, and it's added all the new stuff to the DLC. So we can say if it's any good, if it's worth it now. And that's pretty much its go of the patch notes. It's very exciting stuff. So strap in.
Was that sarcasm, or was it?
Wait, are we just gonna go through the patch notes, or are we just gonna discuss the patch?
Well, yeah,
we'll go through the patch. A survey. This has got to be better.
I'm not going to go through it line by line. All right, so page 1, Shadows of Change update. We're kicking off now. We're just going to scroll through. So everything that we got. Let's go through the stuff added to the DLC first, because that's stuff that anyone actually cares about. The rest of the patch notes are just balancing for multiplayer in a single player focused game. So Cinch, again. Well, it's mainly just units, isn't it? That's pretty much all that we're getting. It's just a fair amount of new units, more or less doubling.
Yes.
I would say that Siege probably won the units, because that Lord and Hero is are pretty insane. They're really strong. They're really, really good. They're probably gonna be some of the best melee heroes and lords in the entire game, by far, because they just got really good stats. They got shielded, and they are stonks.
I can't believe that they didn't exist before, because I was like, Chaos Lord and Exalted Hero, don't they just exist in the Wars of Chaos? And surely they have variants for Siege, but apparently not. But,
no, because this is a Halberd unit that is anti-large, really good armor piercing, good health, a shield, and good melee attack and melee defense. And I will die on the hill that good melee defense makes a good unit. If they have really good melee defense and they're gonna be in melee, that's what it's gonna be, because stuff can have 120 armor and 70 missile resistance, and they're still gonna be taken down by missiles. It's just how it is. So good, either ward save or melee defense is just great. But then the rest of the stuff was whatever.
More or less the same thing. Defense and ward save, just ignoring damage, and who doesn't love that? So apart from those, we've got the Centaurs, which, they're a bit of a recolor, let's be honest.
Yes. Not much of one either, but
no,
still.
I'm looking at the image. They've got, if you zoom in, you can see they've got this much blue on them.
Yeah, they were a little bit weird. I also don't know when I exactly use them. I feel like it's more of a multiplayer thing. They do say that they want to have stuff in the lower tier brackets, stuff like that, but I just don't know what role they fill in single player, really.
Building stuff for the multiplayer. It's such a small part of the player base.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that the Beastmen get them added to their roster as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's good. But yeah, for Zinch, I don't, because the Chaos Knights of Zinch were one of the only sort of frontline units they had for quite a while.
Yeah.
These guys are just faster and not as strong.
Yeah, they're pretty squishy still, but they do have the shields. They will still be good, because anything with shields will be way stronger anyway.
Yeah, I guess they will. They probably have armor piercing, whereas the Chaos Knights don't.
Yeah. And then we also have the Changebringers, which is like the chariots, but multiple ones. But they did change the chariots and the exalted ones to have like small plumes, so like small whirlwinds whenever they hit stuff, which is pretty cool. I did do really, really bad unit testing. So I had like several thousands of men-at-arms and peasants from Bretonia versus 6 exalted flamers. And they just routed them like within a minute, basically. Because those things won't hurt them too much, but they will slow them down quite a bit. So like that change was good. But one change that I got really, really like just baffled about was the like insane nerf to the Sangors. Sangors were like cool. They're like gores that are touched by singed, but not like that you have to show on a doll, right? So they're just like cool and good. And
Not the bad touching.
yeah, but they just got like nerfed to oblivion, and it's so weird. Like introduce something in the patch, and then they're like, "Yeah, hi, by the way, here's an addition to the patch. These dudes are way worse now."
Really, what did they do to them then?
Hold on, I will go through it here. But essentially, they got all of their stats murderized. Hold on.
Oh no!
Oh, so we're gonna add these new units that are kind of mid, and then make one of the
So
good
they
units
got
worse.
200, like from 1,000 to 800 in the barrier. Additional hit points went from 78 to 72. Leadership was a little bit nerfed from 66 to 62. Melee attack though went from 35 to 24.
Whoa!
What?
11 minus melee attack and 8 less in melee defense.
That is
Plus they
so
also
much
got
worse.
30 minus armor.
Looks like they got
Fucking
8
hell.
more melee defense, so they've now got 24 melee attack and 38 melee defense compared to 35 melee attack and 30 melee defense.
Oh yeah, they did actually get more. I actually read that one wrong. Melee defense still good though, but like 11 minus melee attack. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's a
pretty crazy, I
that's
think.
a real nerf. That is.
I seem to remember when they first got added, I always thought they were kind of cool, but when I was playing the Siege, I just used like Chaos Warriors, since they're just, you can use Chaos Warriors, right?
Yeah, they were good early on, but they weren't.
Yeah, now they're just like, why would you ever use those? You might as well just use like spam blue horrors until you get something better.
Honestly, I read
Yeah.
it wrong. I didn't know they got like more melee defense. I don't really give a shit about the melee attack. Honestly, like it's they're probably still very good. I've used them a ton. They're a great frontliner. Always have been. I guess they're not going to be that much change with that much more melee defense. Like you have no idea how much I value melee defense. Like it's insane.
Yeah, you've kind of had to change your opinion now, haven't you? Because I just pointed that out.
I kinda
We'll
did.
just
I
we'll
did.
delete that part that you just said.
I got new information, you know, like I'm just gonna like, oh yeah, you know what, I changed my mind. I read that wrong. I'm an idiot. That's just how it is. I
Correct me if I'm
nothing
wrong.
at all.
Reducing
No,
their
they're actually
damage,
good now. It's fine.
reducing their damage and increasing their defense is a little bit stealing notes from Realms of Ruin, where they were rest in peace, dead game, excellent defenders. They were so freaking tanky in that game. So pulling that over to a war, fair enough.
I think it's probably gonna be a plus minus 0 on that one because they did get more entities as well. It's just a weird goddamn balance thing to like change them around like that anyway. Because they did get more number of entities as well.
They didn't seem like there was any problem with them. It really does feel like a multiplayer change.
I think they were pretty strong though. Like in my campaigns, I've been able to use Sangors like the entire campaigns. Like I just did a Beastman campaign to get the achievement, and I used Sangors in my army throughout. Like they're not that bad.
Makes sense. Still, shame they were quite so brutally nerfed. But I like the look of the Changebringers because I like setting fire to people. So
Yeah, I like
Changebringers
flamers.
though. Changebringers though, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be using for because it's like the chariots, but more of them, and they don't get the little flame whirlwinds.
Are they just like the same as normal flamers, or do they have like less entities, less ammo, something?
Well, they're flyers with
if
so they're squishier, I guess.
if it's just the same but flying, it's probably like you say, one of those that's like, yeah, they're flying so they can get wherever, because like the only downside of flames is kind of a little bit short range and also tend to shoot your troops in the back a little bit. So if you can get behind enemy units and shoot into their backs, then that's
they're also
fine.
demons.
Well, yeah, but whole other tangent.
But also, flamers are incredibly squishy, right? They will die at a drop of a hat. Have they fixed the fact that the red line, is it the red line? Yeah, the red line skill for flamers increases the weapon strength.
Not sure. They were supposed to be like that. They can handle a little bit of melee and stuff like that, but it's
they cannot.
They're not really that good at it. They just don't die immediately
Those
at
guys
contact.
fucking melt as soon as you put them in melee combat. They're just like they just die immediately. There's no at no point would you want them to be anywhere near melee combat. So giving them like 25% weapon strength just seems like a weird choice to me.
I do believe that's A called Hellbrass though. He got nerfed from melee defense.
Good.
Yeah, melee defense from 50 to 40. A lot of stuff got like less melee defense this patch. Probably that's why I thought the Sangors also got this. He got Deadly Onslaught and Foe Seeker in Skirmish. Well, it doesn't really matter that. But like the problem with A call was always that he's just, you get him like mid-late game usually. And then he's like too slow for the army anyway. So you can't, so it doesn't really like get to see any action almost.
No, I had the same problem with what's his name? Harold Thingamajig, Hammer. Whereby I was playing a Colette campaign. I had him in the army. He was the only thing that wasn't monstrous infantry. And there would be points where he was like charging towards the enemy army and he couldn't even get there because, say, the dwarf flame cannons were just targeting him and he kept getting knocked on his ass. So by the time that all the army was dead, this poor little guy was like charging up, no kills, and had just reached the battle line. You're like, they could have just given him a horse or something.
Just give him like a skull crusher.
Yeah, thing really, to be honest. And Acold, again, just his abilities, I just don't care. None of them are particularly interesting, in my opinion. He's just a very boring character that you actually have to do stuff for.
There were also a bunch of nerfs otherwise in the roster as well. Like Cockatrice has got 1,000 less health. The Vortex Beasts got also 2,000 less health, but more melee defense, like 5. But also they're 13 less melee attack. Little bit of stuff. I don't know how deep we're gonna go into these.
No, I'm not. Not doing like every stat for every unit, but yeah.
Overall, there were like nerfs to them, and all the flyers got Strider.
I mean, I'm not. I don't really care about things being overpowered as much as most other people do because I don't play multiplayer and feel like
I usually
top wall balance is so shit anyway, so you might as well just have fun.
I mean, when I go through these, usually I just talk about like if it's nerfed or buffed, if people are going to use them or not, essentially.
Yeah, it's just weird that they take units that people use and nerf them, and there's still a whole bunch of units that nobody uses, and they just leave them.
Yeah, instead of bringing the things that no one uses up to everyone else, bring everything. Oh, this is getting too much use. Bring it down, make it useless. Which is hyperbole, of course, but still.
But other than that, like Siege didn't get anything, got any reworks to their stuff. Still the same bad tech trees and stuff like that. And it probably goes into like it's just cheaper to make like units than to actually like fix campaign stuff.
Yeah, this is
is it?
I mean,
I'm guessing maybe. I don't know.
Easier
actually.
to just like add the unit rather than we need to change this mechanic and it's in the goddamn spaghetti code.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the whole like we'll obviously continue with this content, but just brief tangent, as it is. The whole adding new units. I mean, it's fine, it's whatever, but I still don't really think that it's what they should be focusing entirely on. I feel like adding some new mechanics, just something that changes the gameplay up for every campaign rather than just units. They don't add enough. Like I feel like you can add like 20 units and it's the same as one good mechanic in terms of how much it adds to the gameplay.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Between Kairos and the Changeling, their tech trees are so vastly different. Like just a small example, if you want like the strongest tech for them, that's like the teleport ambush dance. Like that's insane to have free. You just like click on somebody, it's an ambush. It's crazy good. It's like an underway at the same time. That one is like 72 turns or 76 or something like that for Kairos, but 17 for the Changeling. And like obviously it's not gonna take that long for them because they get different bonuses and things, but still, like it's a pretty big difference.
It is pretty huge. I noticed
especially when they said they were gonna get reworks, but they didn't. All they did was just remove stuff
in that bloody cursed roadmap.
Yeah,
it just says all just reworks for factions, and it's just we haven't seen one yet. I mean, Cafe got the very minor rework in the original thing. I think that's about it. They just changed the harmony system, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
No, there wasn't anything else.
Wait, no, they did. Wait, there was something. There was something, and I can't remember what it was.
They removed a bunch of stuff for
battle in your mind.
Yes, that's it. They removed a bunch of Zinch stuff, didn't they? Probably because it made the game look bad, and that's the only thing.
Oh yeah,
like halting armies and stuff like that.
Wasn't it? But then they also removed remove fog of war because they didn't want people to see how dumb the AI is.
Yeah.
You could see what the AI was planning, and it's always planning completely mad shit. So they were like, maybe we just won't.
It should just like you should be able to use that, and it just like sends you back like a post-it note that's like attack player, just written in like Sharpie.
Yeah,
and that's it every time.
You know what? I played a battle the other day, and I was coming in as reinforcements for a friendly faction. So there was an enemy faction. I was at war with them. There was a friendly faction. I wasn't allied with them, but I'd been drawn into the battle because I'd been close enough to be drawn in. And the battle starts. I'm coming in as reinforcements. I'm coming in 2 minutes. I'm sitting there. I'm watching these two armies, and they just kind of sit there watching each other. And then I arrive, and suddenly they're like, "Oh fuck, we're supposed to be doing something, aren't we? Shit! Quick! Start shooting each other, I guess, maybe. I don't know, fucking know." And they just start doing they just start like pirouetting around each other. One of them goes into a massive ball for some reason. I'm watching this and going, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, God bless.
They spent the 2 minutes just not doing anything until I turned up. I was like, why?
Yeah. Let's get back as Cathay, though, is the next one. Because they also got stuff added. They got Saitang, the Watcher.
I would argue that Cathay got the coolest stuff.
Yeah, the Saitang was pretty cool. The Gatemaster is okay, I felt. It was like kind of tanky, kind of like hybrid unit, but it was like kind of tanky.
Is he a hero or a general?
Hero. And he also has like some cool ability skills. Like he could give 10% upkeep reduction to everything in for everything with Jade in their name, and they get the Great Moonbird, which is nice because it's like the Arcane Phoenix. It's just that it doesn't need to dive down to do the fire bombing thing. It just like hovers and then just like has a vortex beneath it, which is pretty, which is just stronger because like the Arcane Phoenix has several times for me gotten stuck down there and then I have to like fight its way up, which it doesn't.
Flying units are so ass once they get stuck. They're just like, oh no, there's a zombie attacking me. I can't possibly walk away. And
then it's the Celestial Lion as well. The Celestial Lion is actually really important from a lore perspective, which I haven't heard anyone talk about that, but like the lore was basically that it used to be a chaos beast, like a manticore or something. But then the Dragon Emperor cleansed it.
Oh,
made it good. And that's like in Warhammer lore. That like you read more 40k than I have, but in fantasy, basically, if the Chaos Gods touches something and it's chaos tainted, like you're gonna need literal divine intervention to like actually get chaos to like release its grip on it on its soul. Like you need like Sigmar to like come in and like help this little chaos worshipper or something like that. And chaos. Yeah, and Chaos Beast and stuff like that, like they're just belonging to, they were made for the Chaos Gods, and they gotta die for the Chaos Gods.
That's interesting.
That's
I'm
cool.
always a little bit dicey about flying monsters, though.
Yeah, but the Dragon Emperor, he went in and he just cleansed this, and he just got rid of the Chaos taint from it, and it's like lore-wise, that's pretty huge. But I wouldn't really like expect anything else from the person who also wrote the character who's like the best diplomat, assassin, spy, warrior, and mage at the same time as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good point. Yeah.
Have you tried just for the lore. Yeah, I have. Great Moonbird is kind of cool. The Celestial Lion is like a weaker Bale Taurus, or like a Bale Taurus, basically. It's not like super effective, but you can have it
Weaker than
as
the
a
Chaos
mount.
Dwarfs? What a shock.
But you can have it as a mount for the Celestial, for the General, which is cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
I haven't had time to try that out though, but
Just
like Sai Tang though, he's like bone giants that has some cool stuff. He has really good skills, really good skills. I can't remember them right now, but they're really good. He's definitely a legendary hero. Like once you level him up, on level 1 though, he's a bone giant. His special skill line like missed, I think 5 out of 6 times or something like that. His jumping thing, I thought was gonna be like that he could jump across the battlefield. I thought that was like crazy cool. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this now. I'm gonna do this. That's so cool that he can jump to somewhere. Jump on these dudes, and he just goes like, zip. And then he just like, and doesn't even do like much damage. Like when I tried him against Men at Arms, he killed like, I think it was 20 or something like that in a big pile of them.
It's disappointing.
But like the skill point stuff, that like you definitely will have him in the armies anyway, because skills are like definitely legendary hero.
I wish they
That's cool.
I wish they weren't scared to just go balls to the walls. Just like if that fucking thing comes down and does like a Superman, like an Iron Man landing, it should just like like a Doom rocket. I wish they weren't scared to go for that sort of stuff with legendary heroes. Just make it like a one-use thing.
We've got Croak.
Yeah.
Have you seen
literal
what Croak
nuke
can do?
man?
That guy's a fucking mad. He can annihilate swaths of enemy infantry. So I'm like, I don't know why they then.
They didn't get nerfed in Warhammer 3.
Even then, he's still very good, and I don't understand why we now get heroes like Acold. Because I'm going to be honest, if you're going to try and sell us on the idea of legendary heroes are cool,
make them cool
rather than give us trash. To be honest, that's my hot take.
My main thing about Acold is that he's so slow, and his entire thing is that he has a flying sword that he can goddamn skateboard on, and that's like one of the biggest missed opportunities since Wolfric.
Right? Yeah, we've definitely talked about the flying skateboard before, because that'd be so sick if he was just like hitting kickflips off enemy units. I'd be all for it.
And then he would say stuff like "gnarly" or something.
You should get like. Was it who's the guy? Tony Hawk. That's it. Tony Hawk, like skateboarder, like combos, grinding downstairs and shit. Something like that.
Let's go over other infantry, just like grinding on helmets.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Then do a little flip.
The problem I find with Acold is that I genuinely like he doesn't have the chaos boons. So there's some chaos boon combos that you can get which make a hit like an exalted hero really strong. So if I go, do I want Acold in my army, or would I rather have a really good exalted hero of Nurgle in my army? And I'm going to be honest, I'd rather have the Nurgle hero.
I mean, I really enjoy Acold because he is one of my favorite like book encounters in the Ulrika books. I think he even kills one. I think it kills Vlad in that one as well. Like after Vlad comes back after like 50 million times. But it's the last Ulrika book. And he like goes on about how vampires are the opposites of chaos, and they're the theme of chaos. And like vampires are like really everything is stagnation, everything is dead. There's nothing more new. And then all the souls, like no more souls for the chaos gods are gonna come around and anything like that. It makes like the end times seem more nonsensical that everything is destroyed. But you know, it's still. He has like really cool talk about like the nature of chaos and stuff like that. And just when he touches vampires, they just burst into like life, and the curse of damnation that they have is just like gone. So they just like literally die. That's like one of the few things that can actually kill a vampire.
Oh, bless him. But yeah, Sai Tang looks great because he looks like a legendary hero.
Yeah.
He's something different. That's cool. Acold, garbage. Anyway,
speaking of legendary heroes, we got Narishka Leisa.
Now, I'm on firmer ground with Kislev because I've actually started playing a Kislev campaign.
Did you play Mother of Stankia?
I have. I haven't really tried her out yet. However, her skills are fine. Although they seem to reach her unit traits gives you more relations with Kislev factions. She's also got a skill and a skill tree, which also gives you more relations with Kislev factions. To which I'm like, there's not many Kislev factions in the game. I mean, there's Ostankia. She's so far away that you're probably not going to bother. Boris usually dies really early on. Then you've got Kostaltin and Catherine, both of who can confederate each other anyway. And then a bunch of other minor factions who usually die really early on. So I don't really know what that's for.
I just imagine like Narishka and Katarina on like the top of the Bokta Palace, something like that, and like the Golden Knight just goes like, "Oh, we will have friends out there," and the Katarina just watches like this burning wasteland around them, just like no one is still alive. They're like, "They will come. You will see, Katarina."
But she does have a good skill line, which basically gives the general loads more health, melee defense, armor, basically like really buffs up the army general. So that's quite good. However, I think something that Kislev really needed and don't have is like a proper melee hero, because they've only got the very shrill patriarchs who are mostly just kind of garbage. And instead,
well, are they really like they're tanky dudes that can heal? They're not like, I mean, they're gonna help. They're worse ones.
Yeah, but I mean, if I want to send a hero out to kill an enemy hero, am I going to send one of them? No. So why we got the Druzina, who is effectively just like a hybrid, because I mean, Kislev don't have enough hybrids. A hybrid melee missile unit general, when we've already got the whatever the fucking guys are called.
The Drushina is. Wait, which one are you talking about?
Kislev have got like a melee general, and I can't remember the name of them, and I can't. It's doing my
Boyar?
Boyar, thank you. Yes, that's it. They got the Boyars. Basically the same. I mean,
the Drushina is weird though, because he's like, doesn't he hit harder with more arm piercing than like a Saurus general? And also he has like 100, and then he also has like 100 anti-large in a bow shot, which isn't like there's like Wolfhard I think has 150 or something like that, so it's not like insane, but it's like pretty decent for a lord, I guess.
Yeah, it's not bad. I just wish he was a hero instead. That's all. I was like, I would have preferred him as a hero. That's my hot take.
Have you tried them in battle? Any of these?
No, I've recruited one, but he has yet to actually get into a proper battle.
What do you think about the Kislevite warriors? And did you think about that it seems to be a mandatory recruitment requirement that they all have mustaches? Every single one has a mustache.
That'd be fucked.
What I really like about the warriors is the fact that some of them they've got hybrid weapons. So they've got like a fork axe. So if you look at the weapons, they've got like this. I think if you look at the picture, you can see just off to the side, you can see a guy with like a fork, but he's also got an axe on it. And I just kind of love the fact that they've got hybrid weapons. But those guys, they fucking serve it up. Those guys are legit.
Yeah, they seem really strong because they had like 40 melee defense, and don't they have AP as well?
They do.
Some more piercing, yeah.
Aren't these the early game unit?
Yeah, tier 0. Tier 0s, they're really good.
They're genuinely amazing. I had a battle where I was fighting Azhag, and I was up against like 1.5 armies. I had 4 of these guys in like a choke point, and I was like, well, I've got 4 of them. At some point they'll break, and I've got then some armored Kossars behind them as a second line. Fine. They did not fucking break. They just held that line. They got hundreds of kills, murdering Biggins and Orc boys. I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Good job, guys.
And then we also had. Did you try the Frostworm?
No, I've got. Katarine now gets 2 additional mounts, one of which is a Frostworm. So I've now got Katarine on a Frostworm. She's like perched precariously on like a big ice throne on its back. And I fucking hope that thing's got a seatbelt.
The Frostworm is like funny because it just goes to show how little CA cares about Norska. They're like, Frostworm, yeah, we have the name over there. They don't need it anymore. Then Norska's just like,
I did think that when they said they got Frostworms, I was like, hang on a minute, that's a dragon.
like, and then he just like take it. It was like you do. Yeah, I talk about this a lot. You can really like tell how first, like in game 1, Norska was crafted with love. It was cool. Everybody liked this. That they fit in really well. And then like in game 2, they couldn't really put them in. And they just like, you could feel the spice of working with them. So they're like, no, they have the old traits. No one touches them. I'm not going to touch them. They have the old traits. They have all the old skill points, everything. No, nothing. Then in 3, it's like, yeah, just take the name from them. I don't give a shit.
Why do I hate him so much?
It is like all the time. But the Frostworm Wars, I tried it in the bad unit testing. And versus Men at Arms, they got like 30, 40 kills before getting killed. So it's, I don't exactly know how to use them. But it's probably like they just aren't supposed to just run into infantry, I guess.
No, most
Maybe
monsters
they're good
like
at,
that.
might be good at other things like painting.
It'll just be like the standard monster thing where, you just slot them in some infantry so they don't take all the damage.
Yeah,
They'll be
probably.
fine.
Yeah.
It felt like it was as good in melee as a salamander or something.
I should have probably played these, but I meant to do it today. I was like,
It looks
then
like
we
it uses
also
the
had-
same skeleton as a salamander.
I was thinking that it does look very.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
the same animations. Not
Okay.
sure about that one.
Anyway,
But
so
then the
we've got-
biggest addition probably was the lore of hags.
Hmm.
God, sorry, just like another side tangent. The amount of like what he said. So she is the only hag lord, so we can't have another hag lord. It's just the rules. Like really, are we really getting this mad about the law now?
Well, I guess they do have to run things past Games Workshop, right? And if Games Workshop goes, no, then it felt like a very Games Workshop decision, to be honest, rather than a CA decision.
I really hope that they're gonna that's gonna be a meme. It's like, yeah, the gate bug has been in the game now since 2016. It's Games Workshop is gonna be gonna be backing down on that one any day now. Any day.
They insist that sieges are completely worthless and impossible to play.
It's how it's supposed to be. I had like today, I was just like complaining about bugs and stuff like that. And then the first siege with my Juan Bo campaign, the Jade Lion just gets gate bugged in and he is killed by everything else around it. And then because they got changed to constructs, it got sad and died when I could save it.
Oh
Why
man.
do constructs get sad and die now? What the fuck?
Yeah,
And yet
that's
the
a-
fucking
that's a new
drum
thing
is
now.
unbreakable.
Some guys just dun, 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 dun. Yes, we will never retreat. This monster that's been built, a literal machine held together with magic. Oh, I'm sad. I'm gonna go kill myself straight up, bro.
Right.
It's the
it's-
magical
it's-
binding holding it together. I know.
No, those things really it's the worst game mechanic in the entire game. Like the instability, undead crumbling, and now the constructs as well.
When it was just vampire counts, I was like, oh, that's kind of, it's a thing that's unique to them. I don't hate it. It's whatever. They all call Sphere, so it doesn't balance out, but it gets halfway there, at least on normal difficulty. But now it's just everyone and demons and constructs. Just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This is useless. Godwin?
No one likes that mechanic, right? I don't know anyone who goes, "Oh yeah, it's really cool that demons immediately get like the instant they're feeling a little bit unhappy, they just fucking die."
It's so depressing. Like,
Right, and they went,
Robots.
"Let's add that mechanic to some other units because people seem to fucking love that shit."
elite demons that cost thousands of gold and several turns to recruit, and it's like, oh, I've got a tummy ache. I'm not feeling so good. I'm going back to my realm.
The worst part I always get like upsetty spaghetti about is that like vampires, ghouls, and stuff like that don't even crumble. Like they're not held together by magic. Like
No.
ghouls are mortals. Vampires can't. Yeah, necromancers as well. Like they can't even die. Like vampires can't even die if they wanted to in most cases.
Vampires need rework. They have forever.
Yeah, I guess. But did you try the lore of hags?
No, I haven't.
Oh
no.
No,
Is there
I was
no
kidding.
spell that increases melee defense? Is that your issue?
No. I was trying it a little bit. A lot of the spells were a little bit weak that I tried. I haven't tried hard tested it or something like that. But a lot of them were okay. But Nothing like spectacular that I saw. It is. It's a very cool concept, though. How you can overcast stuff and completely change how it's gonna work. Either a buff or a debuff. That I really like that one. That was cool. Hopefully they'll go more into that in the future as well. Instead of just Spirit Leech extended cast range.
Woo!
How exciting.
The fucking extended range of spells. Every time I see that, I'm like, why? What's the point? It's so boring. It's always for a spell that you can cast safely anyway. It's like, 200 meters to 400. When am I going to need to cast a spell from 400 meters away? Just not.
I did try the free ELC as well, the Ice Court Sled a little bit.
It looks very.
And I was like,
Lion the Witch.
It's like fine. It does shoot a little bit. It all depends on how you're going to be using it. It does look really freaking cool, though. It's like insanely cool.
Did it have to be horses dragging it? Why couldn't it have been bears?
Yeah.
Just bears everything.
Yeah, that's the entire point. The actual war sled units are bears.
Maybe there should have been bears in the chariot.
Oh yeah, with the guns.
In the right? That would have been amazing.
With cannons that shoot bears.
It should be bears in the casket and then Karen pulls them.
And other major things were also that the Lizardmen got some pretty hefty buffs.
Yeah, I was just scrolling. Very
the Skinks and Coxgores now has Spawnkin. So they get bonuses, which is very cool.
Yeah, that seems like a really nice change, to be honest. And people are very, from what I've been reading, people are very positive about that change.
Yeah, because that's just a plain buff for them, which works under certain conditions, which is cool.
I'm not looking at these rampage changes, and I don't really like the just flat 75%. Because it feels like if your units are in steady combat, they could like avoid rampage if you looked after them and they didn't get fucked over. But this way, it's just like the minute they hit 75%, boom, rampage.
So I believe that's what it used to be.
Oh, am I reading the wrong thing?
So previously, if a unit had rampage, there was like two checkpoints effectively. So when they hit 75% and 40% health. Yeah. So now what they've done is they've switched it around. So basically, previously, if you were saying playing a Scarbrand, which I was doing recently actually, and you charge into a big blob of units and you use his rampage ability, effectively nothing will happen. Like all of those guys will just be like, all right. As soon as they hit 75% hit points, they'll suddenly lose their fucking minds. But if they're above that, they don't care. So it was basically like it did a check at 75 and 40% hit points. If they hit either of those markers for 40 seconds, they would be rampaging. Now they've changed it that it affects, as soon as rampage hits, it affects the unit. They go out of control, they'll charge. Right. But it's only for 40 seconds, and then there's like a token whereby they won't be affected by it again until they hit a certain marker.
Right.
So it's effectively like they can be affected by it now, but it's slightly more complicated now. But I think it makes more sense. But people have been saying that it's really nerfed Slaanesh. I'm not entirely sure how because I've not been paying attention.
Does Slaanesh have rampage?
Slaanesh had a bunch of rampage stuff. That's fine. But isn't it like that it's going to attack? Well, it's going to rampage anyway at 75 and 25 now.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was reading.
So it used to work by tracking 2 hit point thresholds, 75% and 40%. So when a unit hits 75% hit points remaining, it would be issued a rampage token, which the unit would spend when it next took damage. So effectively, as soon as you hit 75% hit points, right, you are available to get that token. So as soon as one of your unit takes damage, then
it goes to like 74 or something like that.
Yeah. Then for 40 seconds, they're then rampaging. The same thing would happen when they hit a 40% hit point threshold. So now, a unit with a rampage attribute will be uncontrollable and will attack the nearest enemy unit. When there are no enemy units nearby, a rampage unit will move around randomly. With these changes, it's a lot clearer in what attribute actually does. If the unit has rampage, they will be uncontrollable. If they do not, they function as normal. The random movement exhibited by rampage units, blah, 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 blah. Now, they do say something about Slaanesh here, in that it makes some spells and abilities that apply rampage, particularly some of Slaanesh's abilities, quite potent. I agree with this, and I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, isn't like the thresholds that are 40, it's now at 25%, so they have like a larger gap between the rampages.
I think there's an internal cooldown whereby they can't be affected by Rampage more than a certain amount. At least that's what I thought, but reading this now, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, because like as I read it's like different kind of systems to how it works, but it's still gonna like trigger at 75 and 25%, 40 seconds. The difference is that they're gonna be moving. But now I'm unsure because you guys are unsure.
I think the confusion is that there are some units that have Rampage inherently built into them, like Feral Manticores. So for them, they now have an ability called Feral Rage 1 and 2, because they're really fucking lazy at naming stuff, which means that effectively they will acquire Rampage when they hit that hit point limit. So when they hit 75%, they get Rampage. But Rampage is no longer tied to that 75%. It's just that the Feral Rage ability affects them at that level.
I thought it was just like a renaming thing almost. It's 75 and 25% anyway.
No,
the way you explain this, it sounds like it's exactly the same, just a bit more predictable.
It's very simple. I've got a big 50-point PowerPoint presentation here. I'm going to take you through it. It's only going to take us 3 hours. It's fine.
Right, hard cut. All right, so now I get it now. I get it.
So basically, it used to be at 75% and 40% hit points. It's no longer that now. It just affects the unit. So if you afflict a unit with Rampage, they instantly go out of control rather than waiting to hit 75% or a 40%. And units that had inherent Rampage, like Manticores, now have a Feral Rage ability, which afflicts them with Rampage at certain hit point limits. Does that make sense?
Wait, what was the difference then? Because it says here, a unit with these new abilities Rampage twice per battle. Once at 75% point threshold and once at 25 point threshold.
Yeah.
This will happen unless you stop it, right?
Yes. So what the name of the ability is Feral Rage 1. So that the Feral Rage 1 goes off at 75% hit points. When that goes off, it afflicts them with Rampage.
Yeah.
But Rampage is its own ability. So effectively what it's doing is it's going, have they hit 75% hit points yet? Yes. Okay. They get Rampage. Whereas, say, a unit like Scarbrand, who can afflict everyone in a radius around it with Rampage, if he now hits if he uses that ability and hits everyone around it with Rampage, they are afflicted with Rampage. They're not afflicted with Feral Rage once. They're not waiting for that hit point limit.
Are we actually discussing about like how you affect Rampage on other units and not like how it would affect somebody with inherent like Feral Rage and stuff like that? Like for Scarbrand, for example, he can run in and make everyone Rampage instead of they have to hit 75% for their Rampage.
Yeah, but effectively it's the same thing. It's just that units that have it inherently have that ability which gives them Rampage.
Then I'm on the same page. We were talking about slightly different things.
Good.
Okay, so here's my take on it.
Yep.
I was always hesitant to use things that Rampage because when they hit 40%, they would run in and they would die very often. It was hard to control them. Now they're going to go in with even less health.
Yes.
And be uncontrollable and die probably more often.
Yes.
I do understand what you're going for, and that was a good explanation. I hadn't thought about how it affects other people, like with Scarbrand, for example, because I'm too unga bunga in my play, so I don't really give a shit about that.
You don't really need it with Scarbrand. Scarbrand's his own army.
But I do understand what your what the difference is now.
Yeah, but it does. You're right. It does seem like now if you've got a unit that gets below 25% hit points, it's just going to Rampage and probably just get itself killed.
Yeah.
But mind you, there's lots of units that do that anyway. You know, demons, as soon as they hit about 25% hit points, they're probably dead. So...
They're like in battle, 25%. One of the demons straight away like takes out a pen and quill. Dear family, today at the battle of
I felt a little bit sad.
Existential dread hits me suddenly.
Devastating. So that's Rampage. I don't quite understand why people say it's nerfs Slanesh, because I feel like the abilities... unless maybe it's because does it afflict your own units with Rampage?
I think some of his spells used to give Rampage.
Yeah. So that... Because it affects other units with Rampage. That's much more... Because like if you've got like a missile unit that won't is shooting at you, you can just go like, well, you're rampaging now, buddy. Come and join the party. Which, obviously is going to get them killed.
I'm just reading the rest.
Yeah,
of the,
so
It's pretty good.
Exalted Demonettes, for example, used to rampage stuff. Now they give Charmed instead. The Witch Elves would usually do like Curse of Cain, but now they have Poison instead.
Which is a real nerf for them, in my opinion. Like, that used to be their only use, really.
I mean, like, I think that the Curse of Cain, Curse of Madness was like really cool, but Poison is the best melee debuff you can have because it gives them less weapon strength, with just 20%. Like, it's just like it's like having 20% ward save.
It's becoming like
which is pretty good.
They're doing a bit of like the Kislevification of the game, where just everyone is sort of the same. Like, I'd rather have unique units that aren't as good than better units that aren't unique.
Yeah. But what I have noticed, they've gone in for these, like, giving new attributes to you, and I'm wondering if they've realized that attributes are actually a really easy way to get around the spaghetti code.
Possibly.
Which by adding new things, they're like, oh,
yeah.
So when this
they just go, if we just add new attributes that only affect other attributes, or like that kind of, we don't have to mess with all that stuff. We can just keep adding attributes. So you just end up with like 1 million attributes in every single fucking unit.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, so a bunch of Slanesh abilities like Hysterical Frenzy gives Rampage, went down from 40 seconds to 22. Upgraded though is like 40 to 44. Pavane of Slanesh, Rampage. Removed Rampage on that one. A bunch of spells and abilities also just doesn't have Rampage anymore, like Seductive Glory, Rage Incarnates, Rage Embodied. A bunch of stuff like that.
Okay, well, that's fine. One thing I did quite like, though, have you tried the Winged Lancers?
No, because they got Glorious Charge now.
They did. I don't know what it is, but they seem to have they seem to be knocking stuff all over the place.
Yeah, they have. It's like twice as long. They have the charge bonus, and they also, it was something else as well.
It's a leadership penalty for whatever they hit.
Yeah, so basically, if you charge a unit in the front, they still take the penalties if they've been charged in the rear, which is actually quite potent on trolls and stuff who have very low leadership. So you can charge them, and they'll tend to just like turn around and run away, which is actually really, really useful. So yeah, I'm actually loving the Winged Lancers at the moment. So they're doing nice. Good stuff.
It's pretty funny that the Winged Lancers have it, the Griffin Legion, Boris, the Gold Knight, and then Cetra as well. just because why not?
Yeah, apparently it's like supposed to be a Kislev thing, but I guess they gave it to Cetra because,
it's Chariot of the Gods.
I mean,
Cetra should have Glorious Charge.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then as you said earlier, they gave more construct status to more units. Great.
Love that shit.
Because like the Rogue Idol used to run away. Also elemental stuff like that, like the Incarnates used to just have like Unbreakable, but you could still do other stuff. So he would still fight to like 1 health. Now it fights to like 10% health, and then finally today.
The peasant archers, they were too strong for me. It made me so sad.
I have chosen to leave.
You may be wondering, leave where?
And they've given it to bloody they've given an elemental attribute, which is basically the same thing as well.
They've got all these different names for the exact same fucking thing, but just in like different colors.
It does give like physical resistance, stuff like that. Which is neat, I guess, but
no, it's not. It's garbage. I'd much prefer. I mean, they've done it to Onyx Crowman. Onyx Crowman used to be great because you could throw them into combat, and you know what happens if they get routed? They run away, which is fine because then, even if they taken damage, they'll survive the battle. Now they just die. They're basically
straight away. Caw, their family.
Their family. They're basically Furies now, and Furies were. I mean, I like Furies, but unfortunately, you basically take them into battle with the assumption that you're going to have to replace them.
Well, I'm gonna say that some Furies can be really good if you have like 5 or 6 of them, and like surround them, and then just go for it. And really,
units like that are great at like blitz attacking ranged units. You just like surround them on all sides, take them out in like 10 seconds, and then just.
Do you know why? It's because the stuff like the Heartbeats and Furies and stuff like that don't have unit collision. It's like the first month of Warhammer 2 when the Menace from Below, and they would always like attack at the same time, all 100 of them. Like flyers do that as well. They just get stuck on one thing. So in a big like unit formation, you have to have them like surrounded from the top first, and then charge down at it, and then like everything will just attack at the same time. It's
yes, I mean they're really good generally, but unfortunately they're just so fragile that
yeah, they are. If they start losing, they'll just die.
yeah, you can try and pull them out of combat. They can be flying high above anyone that can do any damage to them, and yet they're still quickly writing that letter to their family because they're slowly crumbling to death. And it's really irritating having to like sit and re-recruit the fuckers. So I usually just don't bother with them, unfortunately.
They also did a lot of visual stuff this patch, like the mount scaling fix. So like its claw is larger. A bunch of other ones I would imagine are also larger.
Yeah, and they've also done the bloom. Yes.
Yeah.
Why is it taking them 2 years to fix the fucking bloom?
Excuse me. They also fixed the Minecraft corruption borders.
Yeah.
Hell.
So it is one of those things. Let's hope that they actually will pick up the pace, because they are getting outpaced by a lot of other companies.
At this rate, we might get the Mother of Stanky battle changed. No.
You fucking mentioned the battle. I'm about to.
So
yeah, but I mean, the bloom is something that's been obviously an issue for 2 years.
I kind of like forgot that that's what units are supposed to look like at the bottom image. I'm like, they don't look they don't look right.
There's so many times you fight on snow maps, you're like, Jesus fucking.
Oh my
I can't
God.
see anything.
I mean, the anti-aliasing is still wonky, isn't it? I haven't actually checked it out, but I'm just assuming the anti-aliasing is still like really, really bad.
I don't. You know what? I genuinely don't know.
God, looks like Tyrion's been like photoshopped into that image. How poorly the lighting is on his feet.
Right?
God.
It's just it's nice that they fixed it, but I am like, why is this? Why is it now? Why? How are you only just getting to these issues now? That the chaos corruption was brought up.
Oh
literally day one.
Literally Warhammer 3. I don't give a fuck if we can't say this. You can't tell me anything. I think we can, but like when we got our hands on Warhammer 3 the first time and we saw the corruption, everyone in the chat was just like, is this going to be fixed before? Because, it's one of them things. It's obviously going to be fixed. And I can't remember if they said yes or not. Does anyone remember if they said yes? But, all right, conspiracy theory time. Putting it in full hat. They save obvious mistakes like this for times of dire need. It's like, look, guys, that thing you've been asking for years? Fixed it. See, we're friends. Buy our DLC.
It's just, what it makes it look like they've panicked, basically. That's what it looks like. It looks like they've panicked after the last DLC. And can I also mention that we're 2 years in, like Warhammer 3 had its 2-year birthday, like a week ago?
Yeah, something like that.
We've had 3 fucking DLCs in 2 years. Now, I'm not saying they need to pump out DLC or anything, but if they wanted to make more money, it makes me wonder if the reason the price tag on Shadows of Change was so high was because they realised that they needed to make some money, and they've not released a DLC for fuck knows how long.
If we just if we compare and contrast, Age of Wonders 4 came out on the 2nd of May last year, and next week, I think it's on Monday, the new DLC drops, and that'll be their third one in under a year. I think Eldritch Realms is also meant to land before the 1 year is up, but I might be wrong on that.
And No Man's Sky is pumping out the updates free updates as well every couple of months. Last one was last week.
Yeah, it just makes Creative Assembly look I don't know what's going on at Creative Assembly, because it feels very dysfunctional.
I think that's now. It's really like weird to think about like the past 6 months, because obviously they have had a very tough time. I've talked to some people who work there, and that was like, it was very stressful for them. So I personally, like, I give them a pass on the since August basically. like in the past, like not doing anything, because that seems to be been like a really awful place to work. And if like I know some people don't understand that working conditions matter, but like they're chugging out some stuff.
Yeah, I would never blame, you know, the people working on the content. I'm blaming purely the management.
Yeah,
Because they're the
100%.
ones in command. They're the ones in control. They're the ones who are supposed to be sort of like managing this shit, and they have been failing at their fucking job.
Yeah.
But Fred, what about the guy that does the research trees?
God damn it. Every single day I find like something new to goddamn get annoyed by in the shitty goddamn UI. It's the most awful thing in the world. Last time I found, like, you know how if you just have two armies and you just attack with both of them and one of them will reinforce?
Yep.
Right? And then you have like both armies on both sides. And then, you know, like if the screen goes this high, the armies will go here. And then you have to like scroll around here just to check it out. And they don't even want to put in like, so you can have banners for the second army. So you can just like put down the banners on stuff. So if you just have like a reinforcing army, like you won't see that he has banners for like until you attack with him. Like you have to attack with that person to actually get that. You can't do it post-battle, you can't do it anything at all. Like the UI is just atrocious constantly. It gets me. I don't know why. They can just like so somebody was like complaining about the game I was playing today, like, oh, can't you just have more stuff on the goddamn screen? I was like, well, at least I know what the hell I'm gonna do when you can see stuff. Goddamn banners. I don't, like, oh yeah, Creative Assembly could have done this. Like, just smaller screens that you could like clicked around in and just like scrolled a little bit and shit.
Someone's got a scrolling fetish at CA. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's so, like, God, I hate it. Like they can do better as well. It's just also like Cathay's goddamn tech tree. You just like scroll like 4 times, something like that. I don't even use like most of the screen. It's bizarre.
Have they contracted that a bit? They've actually changed the tech tree for Cathay a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So some of the stuff is just atrocious. Like one of the first converging capstone used to give like 5 or 10% peasant upkeep reduction, which is great because then you can have like a standing peasant army, right?
Yeah.
Because that would hit at like turn 40, 50 or something like that. And you could just have like a peasant army as you would have an easier time to have a peasant army at the bastion or something. Now it's like 20% recruitment cost instead, reduction. And nobody gives a shit about recruitment costs. Like, I do not understand, especially for a peasant as well.
No.
It's like, oh yeah,
one of the least useful traits in the entire fucking game.
Yeah, 100%. It's the absolute worst. And they even have the goal to say in the patch notes that it's like, oh, a more hefty and more substantial recruitment cost reduction. It's like, no, it's not. It's
no one
nobody.
gives a shit. Even 100% is just fine. No one cares.
Yeah, the main problem with late game recruitment isn't money, it's time.
Yeah.
So I have 3 turns until Kazrak and Kolek and like everyone is at my front door. I need an army now. 13 turns. Fuck.
That and how many armies you can afford to keep, because you don't check, oh, I have 50,000 in the bank right now, therefore I will make something for 50,000. No, you check, oh, I have 4,000 income right now, that'll give me this and that kind of army.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand. They keep trying to. I don't know if they understand their own games sometimes, because they give stuff things like, you know, like the new Kislev hero has all this Kislev extra faction relations. You're like, but I don't need this. Why did you think this was a good idea?
It's like the old Kazrak trait before the like faction bonuses before they changed it. It was like 15 or 30% like cheaper bestigors. It was like, who gives a shit?
Initially, it was like 3%, wasn't it? It was like 3% cheaper recruitment costs.
Yeah, it was like the smallest amount, and nobody cared. And the CA was like, yeah, this will make them get the bestigors. It's like, no, it was so bad. But Cathay got a lot of like upkeep reduction otherwise, and they did get like good tech otherwise as well. They did change like the best tech as well, because in the end of the tree would be like 5% like upkeep reduction for the entire faction. and now it's like recruitment rank for lords and heroes and things like that, which is like, I mean, they have other stuff for upkeep reductions, but and Cathay is still really, really strong, but still like, why even go and change that?
Yeah, it seems like a weird shout. And there's just it's I mean, that tech tree, to be honest, all of the Warhammer 3 tech trees need to be overhauled. Just overhauled. To be honest, making new ones would probably be better.
Yeah, but overall, like they got a buff to their tech tree though, because even though it was like minus 5 upkeep, which was incredibly strong, they still just got added 50% more experience for characters have been added. This technology in Grace of Yen Zhang, which is Shen Yang, which is like one of the first ones you can guess, I think. And inner speed as well got from 5 speed bonus to 20. So like they did get, like, overall it was a buff for them. I can't complain too much. And once again, like, Cathay is so ridiculously strong.
Yeah, agreed. I swear though, if we get Thrones of Decay and they've done, you know, the bare minimum on the Nurgle tech tree, I will lose my shit.
Huan Bo
Promise
though,
you now.
Huan Bo got nerfed. It's probably good.
He was cracked as fuck, to be fair. Did the nerf his ridiculous execution ability?
Yes.
Thank fuck.
So like his melee defense went down with 15. He got 15 more melee attack though, so he's supposed to be like more of an attacker now. He did get more armor, 20 more armor, and he did get more like weapon strength, just like base and armor piercing. So he's supposed to be like more of an attacker. The executioner ability that he had, which used to be that whenever he hit something and they had like less than 20% health, it would just die. They removed that one, so now you have to either get skill points for it or get his weapon for it. Because the point of it, that one was that you could just guess Von Karstein Blade and get regen, and then you still had Executioner. That, and like coupled with a really ridiculous amount of melee defense at 60. Like he was just a one-man army after turn 6. Like he could duel any army basically that he could find at turn 6. So now now he does lose health, and he's not like the insta win man anymore.
Does his
Still incredibly strong,
execution still work on anyone, or is it just lords and heroes?
I don't think that's been changed. His ability is a different one, right? That one only works on lords and heroes. But executioner should work on anyone, including like Bastiladons. Well, anything like that is a single.
I just remember fighting a unit. What was I doing? I was fighting a unit of monstrous infantry, and I can't remember what it was. But it was quite low on health, but they hadn't lost many entities. And he just did kind of a swipe, and like about 80% of the unit just went dump, and its health is like. I was like,
perfect.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it probably works on everything. I think it's supposed to work on everything, because it's not the ability is not like the executioner either, because it's just weirdly written. Because what it does is like give it says for 2 seconds, but it counts 0 as well. So it gives 3 ticks of like 250 to 700 something. So I think like the maximum amount it can do if you have good ticks, like 2,500 damage or something like that. So it doesn't need to be like 20%. If a hero has like 2.2k or something like that and has like 90% health anyway, you can just click in them and they'll probably die.
That's the kind of thing that clan like Deathmaster Snitch should have, like an assassinate type thing.
Yeah, but Snitch is pretty insane anyway. The Skaven don't need much.
Yeah, that's true.
The best part was when they changed it now, but Snitch started when Warhammer 3 got released. He started with an engineer. And I was like, an engineer? Why not like the stealth sorcerer? But then I saw that the engineer gives like missile damage. So the gutter runners that I poison would just do like crazy damage. They would just have like super sharpened ninja stars. Like,
yeah, they just shred everyone. Don't they?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But now it's a stealth sorcerer, which is way worse. It's more fun. More like active, I guess.
Well, is there any other big changes? I mean, there's a bunch of changes to units and stuff where they like changing recruitment cost in multiplayer and single player, and I was like, I don't really care. Like, why does the Bastiladon need to have a change in its recruitment costs? I don't give a flying shit. Did anyone?
I mean, Katarine got changed, so she doesn't have Ice Shard anymore, which you probably know because you played Katarine, did you?
Yes.
Yeah, so she has Guardian Call instead, which I thought that Ice Shard was like her best skill for like a very, very long time.
Yeah, I don't. Was that the explosion ability?
No, it's the raining ice
Yes.
down, is this?
Yes, you're right. Yes, I think you. No, wait, is it? No, yeah, her sword has that as the explosion ability, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan of the frost kitties just because I don't really understand what they're for. But I guess being able to summon them is fine. Yeah. Seems like a
Yeah,
weird,
I
again, a weird decision that I don't think anyone was asking for.
yeah, weird thing to change, I guess.
Hmm.
But it do be how it is.
I thought of another in the midst of all that. I remembered another UI gripe. Fucking recruitment menus, and it's just another scroll fest.
Yeah,
It's like this big. Just make it that big. It's so easy.
I just like have 2 lines of it. I have a lot of stuff that I gripe with the UI.
Yeah, when you're like, if you don't think about it, it's like it's not that bad. But then like the moment you like give any of it like a little bit of attention, like wow, that just everything is just awful.
But it's like the abilities and skills stuff like that. When you check like a unit card, if it's a lord and it has a lot of stuff, you can only do it from one side. Otherwise, like you're gonna get stuck and can only do like every other one. Like it's instead of just having 2 rows of it, it's absolutely insane what they do.
Here's a question: did they fix the monster hunts for Norska?
Without checking, I'm going to say no because it's Norska.
You know, it's like always. It's a chance that it's gonna work.
But it probably won't.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Fucking, it's so bad because as soon as that breaks, as soon as one of the quest lines breaks, that's it. You've basically lost that mechanic because you can't cancel one. If you can't complete the quest, you can't do another one.
Here's a little thing that people might want to know. You can actually guess the victory condition overhaul if you want the Norsk achievement, by the way. It's like the rarest one in the game.
Oh,
Damn.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and you get like several different options to what you want to do.
That'd be
and one of them is incredibly easy to do.
I tell you what, if CA want to gain some like favor back, that'd be such like a relatively easy thing to update. Just like everyone's victory condition, just like give them something else because surely it's just like ticking a box in the back saying they need to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, burning down 80 settlements for victory conditions is
just like fuck all that. Give everyone like something to do, and that'd be like so. That just change literally every campaign and how you work towards an end goal. So if you're listening.
Because I had the victory conditions for my Beastman campaign, and then I had to guess 500 ruination, like the max one, and then I had to keep Black Crag and Karasakarak, and that still took like 3 days on stream to do, and I had like 8-hour shifts of like three or 4 times to do. I had like 150 battles, but like 45 settlements raised. And like that's kind of, you know, like I needed 80 if I wanted the achievement like normally. But I was definitely done with the campaign anyway.
Yeah. And I think there's a inherent problem with Total War in it just does it's kind of turned into a wave simulator. It will just throw armies at you to try and slow you down. And it means that any one fight never really feels very definitive. You never feel like, oh, this has changed the face of, you know, this war. It's just, I guess this is giving me 3 turns before the next, you know, 3 stacks show up and I have to kill them then.
The Kingdoms did that really well when they had like when you killed off a couple of armies and the other faction would just go, "Hey, chill, bro. It's well, maybe I could offer you a couple of wooden dogs. It's water under the bridge.
Could I offer you a wooden dog in this trying time?"
I like that. It was the AI definitely felt like, you know, a general trying to, you know, not lead his people to ruin.
Yeah, you know what? One of my Discord mods was saying, "Oh, you should play a high elf campaign. Play Tekalis." And I was like, "I do not want to play Tekalis because Tekalis starts right next to Kairos, who is in the Southern Chaos Waste, which of course will be uninhabitable terrain. And you know what? He will immediately declare war on me, and I will have to deal with fighting in uninhabitable terrain, which I don't want to own because it's fucking dogshit, for the next 50 turns, and I can't be bothered with that." Because he'll never peace out. He'll just declare war on me, and then that'll be it forever. And if I don't send armies at him, he'll send armies at me. Just
find people in uninhabitable terrain. It's like, okay, when you're at the end game, when you just have gold to burn and time to burn, you can just like, oh, I'll just send a couple of armies. It doesn't really matter. But like to start you off, that is just rough.
Yeah. So I don't ever want to play Tekalis because of that, unless I can find. There was a mod that removed the penalties for terrain types, and to be honest, I'm like, I would take that because I fucking hate those modifiers. I hate the fact that you can replenish more if you own an uninhabitable territory and there's uninhabitable territory owned by, say, an enemy. You can get more replenishment by being in an encampment stance in their territory than you can get in your own territory, which just seems absolutely fucking insane to me.
I mean, the Tekalis is still like cracks me up every single time because the strength of him is like having all the passives and it's like going around like you're doing weird like small spells. But then, like, somebody's going to be on the other side of the battlefield. You're just like, there he goes, the greatest sorcerer and wizard alive that is in the slan. And then he's like, there he is on the bird. What is he yelling? And then you can hear, like, really faintly, and this is birds. And then it's this flock of doom comes down. And then it's like, he's got to cast more spells. Birds. And then he just like summons birds. And then it's like, oh no, more spells. Birds.
Fucking love birds.
Costly birds.
Why is it that Manfred is there any other faction in the game who has 2 schools of magic other than Manfred von Carstein?
Great question.
I don't think so. I really enjoy when you have 2 schools of magic and like 9 points of bounce.
It's kind of dumb that Manfred has it and Kairos doesn't.
Right. Why is Kairos' ability still absolute dogshit? I remember when we first heard about that because we got told about what the mechanics were going to be, and I think everyone just went, "What?"
Manfred's also such a good wizard.
Was he?
Well, I mean, like both the lore and in the game, he's incredibly good. Because his sort of unholy power makes it so he gets more power reserves as well while he's fighting. And he has a dragon and can heal, so he's like incredibly tanky and can just go in and just murder stuff. He just never runs out of mana. So if you have like your vampires or like necromancer with arcane conduit, like you just never run out of winds of magic ever.
See, the problem is,
it's really good.
We've pointed this out, so now they're going to remove it from Manfred, not give it to Kairos. No, let my vampire counts have something.
Yeah, the Swords of Unholy Power is like, yeah, we gave that to somebody else. It's like, what do I get then? The Fell Blade, that's green item. Ooh. In the lore, the most powerful item in the world.
But in the lore, like Manfred's not. I mean, he's fine. He's like, he's a strong magic user. But when you like rank him alongside people like Marathi or
Kairos,
Master Mundi or Cairo, yeah, all of these like
Master Mundi is the
magic users.
Master Mundi is the strongest alive wizard in the world.
Yeah,
and he's like a tank mage. So he's like doesn't do that either.
But then I don't, why is Manfred dead? My only guess must be that there's something to do with that.
Manfred is basically the best von Carstein in Magic.
Do you think?
There ever has been.
Genuinely, do you think it's because they couldn't work out how to split up the laws that early into the game development?
Yeah, probably. But like Manfred is a wizard in the lore. He's incredibly good. He's very, 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 very good. He's one of the few necromancers ever to even resurrect the dragon.
I love Manfred. He was my first campaign on Warhammer 1. My boy, my bold baby. Love me some vampire counts.
Fun little lore thing about Manfred as well. He can grow a lustrous
He chooses
Black
not to.
mane. He just shaves his head
That is
all the
kind
time.
of badass, to be honest.
Is it like he's what? Why does he want to be bald?
After the Battle of
Bald's
Hellfan,
beautiful.
he decided like
Is it?
he decided like new chance of life, new me.
They should just take the eyebrows as well. Fuck it.
It's just, my thinking is that there must be some reason of the code that they can't like replicate it. That's my guess, and I think that comes down to my thinking now for pretty much anything I'd like added to the game is they probably can't do it because the code's fucked.
I mean, he is just like as a legacy character. They wouldn't make him like that if he was in the game now. It's like that with a lot of characters. Like if they were put into the game now, they would not be like they are now.
All right, I think we need to ask the key question: is this DLC now worth? Let me just double check the price.
25 skadoodles.
20 English pounds. Is it worth the same as the Forge of the Chaos Dwarves? Is it worth 2 times the Ogre Kingdoms? Is it worth more than the Vampire Coast, or the Tomb Kings, or the Wood Elves, or the Beast?
I mean, obviously that is a decision for everyone to make on their own. For me, I mean, I probably if I wasn't getting it for free, I probably would have bought it. Right, just because I play this game.
Yeah, you play this as a side job.
Yeah, even if I wasn't though, I still bought all the DLCs before I had a YouTube channel. So would I buy this? Yeah, I probably would. Sorry, Des. However, what I think they really needed to add to make it worth it is like you said previously, some mechanics. Like, had they come in and gone, this DLC will also open like new crisis mechanics so that you get those crisis events, but now there's like, more stuff going on with them. There's more mechanics built into them. And maybe there's only like, 2 additional ones that they've like put extra mechanics into. But, if they came out with something like that, I'd be like, okay, that kind of works for me.
Like the crisis mechanic, I am so surprised every single day of my goddamn life that they haven't had like a chaos crisis where like Archaon binds everyone together and marches down, and like all you have to do is kill Archaon or like take one of his.
Saving that for like some sort of
places.
end times DLC.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, the problem with that is if they give any mechanics like, oh, you need to kill Archaon will just like suicide himself into because the AI has no preservation against each other. They'll just like suicide Archaon into like a big stack of Empire troops somewhere and be like, "Good job, you did it," and you'll be halfway across the map going, "Did what?"
I think that happened to me when I was testing out one of the crises. I like set it on really early turns and somehow it just managed to end itself. I was like, what? I haven't even seen them.
Or even worse, Archaon will appear. He'll summon all the unholy, hordes to his side, and you playing, I don't know, fucking Volkmar or someone will be the only one at war with him. And he'll march his way through the Empire, and all the dwarves will be like, Archaon who? I don't know who this fucking guy is.
Oh yeah, it's like, don't look at him. Don't look straight at him. Avoid eye contacts.
I still remember playing as, I think I was playing as Durthu or Orion or someone, and I got the Black Pyramid event, but because the Black Pyramid guys had died so early on, they respawned, and they weren't at war with anyone, so they just started marching towards me. I just had a long line of fucking undead armies like marching towards me. No one else was doing anything about this. I was like, fucking. So I just turn it off now because it's so bad. I love the idea of it, but it's just they've implemented it so fucking shittily that I can't be bothered to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, a little bit. And Damneders, what do you think about this? Is it worth?
I don't think I'm ever going to change my mind on £20 being like worth for a DLC, because I think it's just very expensive for DLC. Like DLC to me is supposed to be a microtransaction. £20 isn't really micro. Like there's games that you can get for that. Full games. We've been through this before. But if I like look at it in a vacuum and say, is it more worth it? Obviously, it's more worth it because of the more units, but I think units are the easiest possible option they could have gone for. I would have just preferred a new mechanic. Even if they like added no new units and like, all right, look, reworks, they're getting added. And like we tweak some of the other mechanics that aren't very good for the other ones, like Stanky's tree spirit abilities. Half of those I found to be a little bit useless. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you can get it on a sale, it's probably a bit more tempting now, but for full price, it's still just very expensive for what you're getting. Like, it doesn't really change. This stuff doesn't really change the game that much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I might just use this unit once.
I mean, it's what we talked about previously as well. Like, you would always like have incorporated into the price like the reworks that would actually change a bunch in the game. Like actually change a bunch of stuff in the game, and a free free lord as well that would also change a bunch of stuff in the game. So the map would be like different. You could always tell which patch you were on, because like something would be vastly different. And even if you didn't buy it, you could still go and play like some of the reworked stuff anyway, which would be fun. So like you say, like not a lot of stuff actually changed. Shadows changed once again, changed the least of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels very lazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very clear that this is like a desperate attempt to fix the DLC problem as fast as possible. And the problem is, if this is received well, it means that like the Nurgle DLC, or Friends of Decay, sorry, which is the Nurgle DLC, but I digress. That means that they are going to feel like they can put in the same amount of low effort, but just add more units. So Nurgle isn't going to get their rework, which they fucking need. That research tree is going to stay the exact same. You're going to be scrolling for weeks, and we're just going to have like 6 more units, or like 4 more units per faction, and they'll think that that's acceptable, and then we'll all be sad. But that's just a theory.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many Warhammer 3 factions that do need reworks. I mean, particularly ogres.
Vampire counts.
Vampire counts with
Norska.
But yeah, I think Norska need a serious fucking overhaul.
Who?
And I don't see why they couldn't just like add Sutha Eek as a character. And I think the thing is, if they want to get the community buy-in, if they were to go, oh look, we're doing a free LC and a Norska rework, you get Sutha Eek, and fucking, they're gonna just go overhaul everything, add a bunch of new stuff. You'd be like, I think people would be like really into it then, and I think then the conversation about the price would still be there, but I don't think people would care about it as much, and it wouldn't dominate the headlines quite so much. Whereas because they're doing this very low effort, can't be bothered to change anything in the game because it's too complicated, it pisses people off.
Yeah, it all does come back to, like, as Fred said, the DLC price builds in the free stuff, and this time there's just been no free stuff. So you don't feel like you're supporting the development of the game, you feel like you're supporting the development of more overpriced DLC.
Yeah, you're supporting like somebody's higher bonus for the year or something. Yeah, I mean, personally, I would say with the DLC, like, it's buy it on a sale. But it's always like, if you have enough money to burn and you don't really give a shit, then you just buy it. It's not a bad DLC. It's just too expensive.
Yeah, that's always been my problem with these. Like, I like the Chaos Dwarves. They're obscenely overpowered, but, I don't really care about that. I think they're a lot of fun. I just think they're too expensive. And the same thing with this DLC. I think it's definitely not worth as much as the Chaos Dwarves, which I already think is expensive. So it's just like, I don't know. It upsets me. I'm gonna disintegrate. I'm gonna write a letter home.
Oh, I don't disintegrate.
Dear family.
I can't take the Total War DLC anymore. I'm going to disintegrate. You'll have to re-recruit me in 4 turns. Goodness me. So yeah. Our collective opinion is...
Like, it's better, clearly, because they added more stuff.
It couldn't be worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not enthusiastic, put it that way.
Yeah, it's also, there's a lot of $30 DLC games that you can also go for as well.
Yeah.
Now,
speaking of which,
like Nightingale just got released as well. It's now like it's $30. Oh, it's down going. $39 as well. You can guess Helldivers 2, Pacific Drive for $26.99.
Looking forward to playing that. I picked up Balatro, which launched this week. It's excellent. It runs perfectly on Steam Deck Monsters. Good luck having any time ever again.
Which game?
Balatro. It's this. It's that deck building like card game that's playing poker hands. It's so good, and there's so much stuff. Like, I was looking through, like, how many different decks are there? and it's like unlocked by discovering 100 cards. I was like, okay, that's a lot. 500 cards. Okay, you need to slow down. this game's like £12. Cool it with all this content. Yeah.
Helldivers 2 though.
I do want to play it, but unfortunately the servers don't work and my friends don't have it. So, apart from you, of course, my best friend.
It's good. It's really, really good. So
I've
the
heard good
server
things.
capacity has like it goes into max. So like you just can't play it all the time. You can bypass that by jumping into friends' games. So it's been like it's just so much where I just like jump in and just like, hey, I haven't seen you in a couple of years. How are you doing?
I found it pretty hilarious that didn't they like tell people like stop buying the game? We need to like stop buying the game so we can fit more servers in the rack.
Yeah, they said like if you're strapped for cash, you can just waste until we fix stuff. It's fine.
Good.
Because they've been doing really well anyway, so they don't really care about. Well, they don't mind if you waste, but it's fantastically fun. As I said, like you just jump into friends' games. It's always like good as well.
I suppose this is a segue into the closing topic of what we've all been playing.
Yeah.
Monsters, what have you been playing?
Oh god, what have I been playing? I've only been playing games I can't talk about. Oh, I also played Millennia, which I have mixed feelings about.
Oh
Same.
yeah, we're definitely allowed to talk about this now. I think
Yeah,
the
we're allowed to
demo
talk
came
about
out.
Millennia.
I didn't think it was great.
No,
I
I'm kind
wasn't a big fan.
it's. I mean, it's fine. It's just.
If I'd never played Civ, I'd probably think it's a lot better. But unfortunately, it came like I did the Civ guide and then immediately played Millennia, and I was like, wow, this is just not as good as Civ, unfortunately. But of course, it's not going to be because it hasn't got all the time into it.
Because I played, is it Old World, which is by Hooded Horse, and I thought that was good, but I kind of didn't really feel like it hooked me because it was basically just Civ with extra bells and whistles. I think it's good. I just don't think maybe Civ is the game for me anymore, and this is basically just Civ with bad combat.
Oh, the combat is. I think I sent you that clip. It's so like even it looks hysterical. Like, I'm sorry, Paradox, if you're watching this. It looks hilarious, and it just I don't know. It was just very strange. It didn't really seem to make a lot of sense.
I played it for a few hours and I came out of it just going, I don't really want to play that again. I have no desire to sort of like delve into that again. I'm kind of hoping maybe they'll like, make some changes and stuff, and maybe if I give it another try, maybe I'll find that hook that pulls me into it. But
I must go into the little boys' room.
Okay. Yeah. I think it had some stuff, like some concepts, which I like the ages system, which is semi a thing in Civ 6. Also, rumor mill, apparently there's a new Civ game coming out this year. Allegedly, that's what the community theory is. But it did have some good things. It's just the overall package, like the development of the cities felt like very nothing. The combat wasn't very like I know combat in Civ is not very like tactical, but it's at least like it made sense.
It did feel very vanilla.
Mm.
And I don't know. My worry is that because I felt this way kind of about Cities 2. And Christ, what was the other game they released recently? Something they released. And Paradox just recently have been releasing a lot of not great games. They've been really dropping the ball recently. And I worry this is going to be another one. I see a lot of people, like I went to the Reddit and I was reading through the Steam forums and stuff, and a lot of people are just like, what is this? It's just...
I think it was the whatever you call it, everyone has like an expo thing these days, and when they were announcing all these games, I was like, God, this is a lot of stuff. I think they have Millennia, obviously. They had Cities 2, which, nailed the landing on that one, saying that the game's not ready and releasing it anyway. That's great. Yeah. And then I think they've got like, what's it called? Like Sim Life or something? Not Sim Life, it can't be called Sims, but it's a Sims-like game. Like, why? It's kind of like the Total War thing. Like, you just need to focus on your bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, because because the other game they released was my favourite one. Fuck, what's it called?
League?
Yes, Lamplighters League. So they released Lamplighters League. Oh yes, they also released a Star Trek Infinite, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
And that fell flat. And they released Cities 2. That's fallen flat. and then they're releasing Millennia, and that feels like
City Skyline 2 fell flat, but dang, it sold a ton.
That is gonna have a resurgence mark. I mean, everyone fucking knows. Like once it gets updated and the DLC hits, that is gonna just.
Yeah, I can imagine that it will, but I think there was a lot of problems with it at release, and it feels like they've rushed it out. And
It's
I feel
nearly
like
It still has problems.
Sorry, which game has problems?
City Skyline 2 still has issues.
Yeah. So I think that they rushed it out, and my worry is they're doing the same with Millennia, in that it just needs more baking time, and they just kind of rushed it out to.
Like both feel like kind of like early access, but in different ways. Like Cities was just unoptimized as shit. The gameplay was okay, but it just didn't have enough like content compared to the first game because of all the DLC, which is just that was always gonna happen. But Millennia just feels like it just needs like a bit more sauce to feel like a proper good time.
Yeah.
Did you play much Millennia, Fred?
I only played a bit, but enough. I played for like 3 hours, 2-3 hours, something like that, and then I was just like, not for me, I guess. Maybe it's for somebody else. I don't know. It didn't hook me. It's not my type of game either. I'm not super much for just Civ games and things like that. I want a little bit like real combat, maybe like Spellforce Conquest of EO or Age of Wonders 4 or something. Spellforce has got a DLC as well. Did you guys play Spellforce Conquest of EO last year?
Oh, yeah, I think I did actually. It's a lot like Age of Wonders 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just Age of Wonders 4. Like when Age of Wonders 4 came out, they kind of bled together, but Age of Wonders 4 was just better overall. Conquest of EO did some stuff that was insanely good, like Necromancer gameplay and stuff like that.
Yeah, this looks very much like Age of Wonders in the screenshots.
Yeah.
But they did get a new DLC for demons, and I thought it was going to be like necromancy, because Conquest of EO has the best necromancy in any strategy game, hands down. Like it's insanely good. Basically, you find stuff on the battlefield and stuff like that, and then you just like put that in. You have a soul, and then you put in different materials, like have one little orange blob or one blue blob for mana, and like green purple for life death, and then you just like put that in, and you see what kind of monster you get from the different blobs.
Oh yeah, because it's like a crafting mechanic, don't they?
Yeah, it's a crafting mechanic for every single thing you have to get, and it's amazingly good. So I thought it was going to be the same now for like demons, but apparently you just like possess people with demons instead, so they just get like bonuses from the demons. Now I wasn't like a big fan of that, but I mean it still has 98% positive reviews. The new DLC out of 51 reviews, so not the biggest game.
Not many reviews though, is it?
No. It was definitely one of those, like, the people who liked the game bought the DLC.
Yeah.
It was probably a safe bet for them.
Tell you what, Balatra's got 25k players. I checked yesterday, it was at 16k. That game is popping off. Good for them.
Jesus.
And then Pacific Drive, which launched just today, is peaked at 13k, so that's not horrific.
It's not bad.
No, not for that kind of game. I think it's good.
I played the demo for that. I'm really excited to play the full thing. I've picked it up. It's
Same.
It's in my pile of shame, as is everything. Hopefully it runs on Steam Deck, 'cause that'd be a good one to play when I go away. It's a vibe. But, yes, played that. I've been playing. Did I tell you I played the entire of The Last of Us last time? Did I get through that? I can't remember. I watched the series first. Love me some Pedro, my boy. And then I was like, damn, that was really good. I'm going to play the game now because I've owned it for a long time, and it runs like shit on the Steam Deck. So I mostly played it on my PC. It runs, but just about. But no, that game is fantastic and really does hold up. Like I only played on normal, but even so, like after every fight, you've got like 2 bullets left. It really, every time you miss a shot, you're just like, fuck, that's bad. No, that game is fantastic, and the story is really, really excellent. I can't wait.
I've heard it's really good. I find it too harrowing. I don't know. Sure, I could.
It's stressful. Yeah, I imagine as a parent, you would be very uncomfortable, like not uncomfortable, but like distressed playing it.
Just it's too much stress. The only stress I need is the AI doing stupid shit.
Yeah. I played the entirety of that, and I've been playing Sunset Overdrive as well, just like as one of those games that you just hop on when you just need something mindless. That's been pretty good. It's good fun. not great. You know, running around shooting.
Oh yeah,
big
Sunset
zombie things.
Overdrive, that old game. Well, old game. It's now it's getting old. Like 2018.
It was one of those like it was a bit DOA,
Yep.
wasn't it? It just like came out, and no one really was that hyped up about it. And then they just like Shadow released it to PC. Then it kind of got like a small resurgence, but nothing crazy.
It's really crazy when you think about that. 2019 was half a decade ago.
Oh, don't say that.
No.
Oh no. Oh, in 2019, I don't think I was even in school anymore. You give me oh fuck you,
I think
Fred.
I'm turning to dust. I'm turning to dust.
Yeah,
Why do you do that, Fred?
I enjoy talking about things like that. I played Deep Rock Galactic Survivor though. That's a pretty cool game.
I played the demo and I was checking out the reviews for it because I was like, oh, I might pick that up and put it on the deck for the whole day. But I think
easily.
Yeah,
it's $10 and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard
it was also one of those games that like completely blew up.
Yeah, a lot of games have been doing that recently, which is just great. And it's always like random, like lower tier, lower. It's not like massively backed devs. Of course, like the guys that do Deep Rock aren't that indie anymore by any means because of like Deep Rock is doing massive numbers all the time. But not being a massive dev and doing that, definitely good.
I think it's a lot of indie games they just like beat the shit out of competition like Vampire Survivors, and then people are just like, I might go for indies more.
I think it's just like the price per content is just so much better.
Yeah. I think I don't even think it's that anymore. I think it's just people want different things now. People just want like something cool and new that's like big titles just don't want to invest in, because when they're investing in something, it can't be as much of a gamble. So that's why Enshrouded like also blew up. Like Deep Rock has blown up. A couple of other things as well that have been like coming out from left field as well, been blowing up.
It feels like bigger companies are just trying to chase the trends. They don't want to invest in creating trends. They just want to chase them up, and then they inevitably come in late and then spend huge amounts of money trying to do stuff that doesn't work. Not that I'm pointing out any particular companies that have done that recently, but
live service always works, guys. Never doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, Helldivers 2 is also like, it's just they're selling cosmetics and stuff like that, because they said they were only ever going to sell stuff that it makes you look cooler and never anything that helps you in the game.
People don't have a problem with in-game monetization and battle passes and loot boxes and all this shit. They have a problem with it being done poorly. Like Overwatch 1 with all the loot boxes. I never bought any. I just earned them. I got the skins and I was happy and I kept playing it. Overwatch 2, I have not touched that motherfucker since the first battle pass, because I completed it and I was like, that was work. It felt like work to play through. And then same with Helldivers, if the game's fun and the rewards are just like cosmetic stuff, why would you not do it? And like with Smite, I've picked up a bunch of battle passes for that, because it's just like you just play, you get cosmetics, you get gems back. Yeah,
it's like almost... Sorry, what were you going to say?
It's almost like the people in charge of big game companies don't actually know what the fuck they're doing.
No, it always comes back to this.
Yeah. I mean, Conan Exiles is one of those games that I love, but man, I do not like the direction they've taken lately. Because they used to have like cosmetic DLCs. You would just buy like, it would be like one light, medium, and heavy armor cosmetic, and then just building pieces. And it would cost like $10 to have that pack. And now they have a battle pass that you buy. You earn stuff throughout, and then they have an in-game bazaar. No more DLCs for $10. Now it's like you want a building set without armors or anything like that. That's like $20 or $15, and it's just like these small things for like $10 or $5 constantly that would have otherwise been in DLCs. And it's just been like you really feel like they're just trying to like get money from the player base.
They kind of get greedy, don't they? They just try and squeeze out money from the audience they have left.
Yeah.
Force that audience to leave, and then there's no one left to play your game. It's just...
Plus, they're probably going to want to invest in their Dune game, Dune Awakening, that's coming out.
Is that basically the same, but in June?
I think so, yeah.
When's it release? In June.
Apparently, there's a lot of games like that now, so they're gonna have to step it up.
Apparently, the Terminator game came out that you two played and said was not great.
Which one?
Dark Fate.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Defiance Terminator.
Yeah, the Slytherin one.
yeah. They offered me a key, and I was just like, I have no.
It has 73% on Steam, because the early stuff was not too great, the first demos and things like that, and they worked really hard on it, and I think they made it way better. I talked to some friends who had played it, and they said it's really hard, but it's way better than it used to be.
That might be worth a look then.
I think it's probably worth a look. I'll be playing it this weekend and trying it out.
I think we're reaching that inevitable conclusion.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Nothing else
Agreed.
anyone's been playing. All good.
Hey, you guys should get Helldivers. We can all play together. We can have a episode. But we can play for 2 hours. Just clip it to like 2 good minutes, and you can have that as a shorts. Like, no, super cuts. It'll be great.
You know what? I have been looking at Helldivers and going, that does look really good. And everyone's talking about it, so I was like, that seems.
Monsters isn't allowed to play and like it though, because then it's the kiss of doom.
Oh,
Keep him away from games that you like.
Success. It doesn't matter anymore. It's already
he'll find a way.
You fucking watch.
They had more. It had outgrown Call of Duty and all those games as well on PlayStation, because it's PlayStation that Sony that owns that are the publishers.
Pretty impressive.
Really impressive. I mean, the fact they just came out of nowhere and just annihilated the competition in. This is the kind of thing that big game companies would kill for.
Hey, it's beat Palworld on its 24-hour peak.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's just a good gameplay loop of screaming, shooting, panicking, and you're really focused while you're there, because goddamn monsters and robots are goddamn everywhere.
Fucking hell, Baldur's Gate has over 100,000 players.
I love the fact that it's the same company that made Magicka, which I cannot wrap my brain around the fact that it's the same guys.
Weird.
Man, it's just so much. It's just so much fun. You're like blasting bugs, and everybody's just having a good time. It's like, ha ha ha! Look at this, shooting like several hundreds of bugs and things like that. You're going to fight with robots, and you're like, oh, how hard can it be? You like shoot a couple of Terminators coming at you, and then you just 2 tanks roll up, and you're like, grenades, and there's nothing on them, nothing. So you're just like hunkering down behind like a building that's getting blown up. It's like, we need air support. You just throw like a little grenade there on them, and then you're like, air support come in with like nukes. And then you just like the blast wave just like push you away, and you're just flying through the air like, oh. It's great.
Oh, it does sound good. I'm gonna have to get that now.
Damn it, Fred, get me to spend money.
You don't need the Super Citizen pack though, because you can earn a lot of the stuff like that from maybe not exactly those things, but the battle pass in-game battle pass that you don't have to pay for is pretty decent.
49 quid. Yeah.
I might actually get the upgrade though, because I do like that helmet. It's kind of cool.
To be honest, when I played PlanetSide 2, I bought a lot of fucking helmets because I wanted to look nice.
There's a lot of stuff that you unlock in the game as well. Definitely get it. We can all play it together. It would be fun.
We'll do that.
Hopefully. Right. I think that concludes it. Folks, let us know in the comments. What do you think of this update? Is it worth it?
Did this update finally make you change your minds? I've actually had a lot of people who said like, yeah, you know what? I'm changing my my Steam review now, because I said that if they try to change it, I'm gonna change it, and I'm gonna let this one pass. And
Jesus. Sorry. I was going to my YouTube page to check on my poll up earlier. Oh no, I've lagged.
He's died.
Oh, there we go.
He's gone.
I shit myself. I opened my YouTube page because I made a poll earlier asking people if it's worth it, and then my own voice played, and I shit myself.
Oh, you froze on my screen. You were looking like this.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The poll currently stands at 65% worth it on a sale, 24% worth it full price, and 12% still too expensive with 1,300 votes. So people seem to be pleased.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Good for you.
A step in the right direction.
Yes. Just hope they can continue it.
Yes, fingers crossed. Thrones of Decay we get an actual Nurgle rework.
Shadow Change on Steam, 70% positive
That's
recent
impressive.
reviews.
Pretty good.
How many is recent? What's wrong with my bloody internet?
Is Discord dying? Quick, sign off.
Right.
Sign off before it dies
Folks,
properly.
let's end the podcast because Discord's about to die. Hope you had a
Fuck you,
delightful time.
Discord.
Bye bye. This has been the old Grumblers.
Episode 9.